Welcome and thank you for tuning in to the Believe in Yourself podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Believe, better known as KevBiyi, man. And if you yourself are interested in creating your own podcast, let me show you how to do it, man. Let me give you some great advice. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. I only need two things real quick. Listen in close. Number one, it's free. That should say it all right there. But if that's not enough, number two, you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. That means you can start making money from day one on your podcast and start putting that money to good use. So, let me give you the information. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's ANCHOR.FM to get started today. And I want to hear your podcast. Peace. Thank you for tuning in to the Believe in Yourself podcast. I'm your host, KevBiyi, man. And if you guys are enjoying these episodes, definitely go and check us out and follow us on Instagram at BIY Podcast. That's at BIY Podcast. Or you can follow us at Twitter at MEINC11. That's at BIY Podcast and at MeInc11. You can also search for us on Facebook at Believe in Yourself Podcast. Hope to see you guys soon. Welcome to the Believe in Yourself podcast on Your Vibe Radio. I am your host, Mr. Believe, better known as KevBiyi. I thank everybody for tuning in. Welcome to this show on Your Vibe Radio. The Your Vibe Radio schedule is as follows. We start off with the cultural gospel on Sunday, 7 a.m. to 12 noon. From 12 to 3, we got DJ Loby. 3 p.m. until we got smooth jazz. On Mondays, we got My Rap Book Podcast at 8 to 10 p.m. Tuesdays, we got DJ Mac 10, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Wednesdays, we right here with your boy, Mr. Believe, on the Believe in Yourself Podcast, 8 to 9 p.m. Thursdays, we got DJ Glimbo taking you down Memory Lane, 9 p.m., 6 to 9 p.m. And Saturdays, we got DJ Glimbo coming back with the cook-up show from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. We got reggae from 1 to 3, DJ Agic from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., and DJ Phantom from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. This is Your Vibe Radio, where we're streaming live on yourviberadio.com. If you want to watch the live stream, all you have to do is visit yourviberadio.com, click media, and then click on live stream. You'll be able to watch what's going on right here in the studio right now. And today's episode, or today's Golden Nugget, is brought to you in part by Titan Protective Services. And Titan Protective Services, protecting what matters most to you. Titan Protective Services helps with security guards and monitoring your home or your business with security surveillance cameras. So if you're looking in the market for security cameras, you definitely want to visit TitanProtectiveServices.com, www.TitanProServe.com, or you can also dial them at 305-925-0793, 305-925-0793. And the golden nugget is, we all will die. When is out of your control. Is what you're doing now a good how? So just think about that for a second, man. Everybody's always worried about when they're going to die, especially thinking about with the corona time and everything that's going on. Everybody's scared to die, but we all going to die. Everybody's going to check out at some point. Everybody, nobody, no matter who you are, where you're at, what you're doing in life. You just want to make sure is what you're doing right now going to be something that you want to be remembered for? Is what you're doing right now worth your life? So that is all up to you. When is out of control? When is out of our control? You could catch I'm not going to speak that on nobody, but anything can happen tomorrow. You walk out the house and you won't be here tomorrow. Is what you're doing today, building and creating your better future. That Golden Nugget is brought to you by Titan Protective Services. Remember, protecting what matters most to you. On today's show, we got my partner right here, man, Mr. DJP, Dave Palmer, in the building.
What's up?
We're going to be talking about some investing, man. Let me tell you a little bit about this man here, man. This man go back way back, 20 years now. 20 years I've been knowing this guy, man. When I took my butt all the way up to freaking New Jersey, and we had the most famous freshman class they ever had at this university. We actually went into the Hall of Fame a couple of years ago. The Florida boys went up to St. Peter's College, New Jersey, and Dave was a part of our freshman class. And we had some good times up there, man, some memories that I'll never forget. And all of us up there became like a family, man. We still keep in contact with each other till this day. And I brought Dave on the show, man, because, like I said, entrepreneurship comes in many shapes, forms, and sizes, man. Dave still has a 9-to-5 that he has, but he's building his future and he's building his legacy on the side with investments, and he started his own business as well. So I'm going to let Dave give a little insight and a little background about what he got going on right now.
Okay, well, a little background on me. I'm from Liberty City, Miami, Florida, of course.
305.
Like Kev say, we met up in Jersey City, New Jersey. Both was on the football team. So after that, I left college, FAU, jumped right into the career, criminal justice career. I was working for a local government agency, police department, as a dispatcher. After dispatcher became a supervisor. I'm currently a communications center administrator. That's my 9-to-5. Good job, good benefits, good pay. But like Kev said, if you want to go further in life, if you want that financial freedom, if you want more for yourself, more for your kids, I looked out and saw what I wanted to do. And it brought me to real estate. Tried other things, but it brought me to real estate. Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up, man. So you've been doing this criminal justice thing for how many years now?
Well, I actually, my career is I'm about 15 years in.
15 years, 15 years. So you almost at the age of retirement, almost.
I got 9 years if I stay with the company.
9 years. Is that a plan to stay with them, or you plan on?
I'll put it like this: if I retire with them, if I stay 9 years, I feel like I haven't done what I was supposed to.
Okay.
On my own as my business.
Okay.
But if I do stay the 9 years, it's not like it's a failure.
Yeah.
Because in 9 years, I'm 36 now, so I'll be about
45.
45.
That ain't too bad.
That's not bad to get a check from a company for the rest of your life at 45, and still got other things to pursue and do. Okay,
so that's what reason why I was asking was because you got started a little earlier into your career. Some people, they retire, and the people that do end at 45, they go for their second retirement. Mm-hmm. What made you say, you know what, I'm gonna create something on my own, create my own avenue? What sparked you into doing that?
Because if you especially living in Miami, you know, a 9-to-5 really it just pays the bill.
Yeah,
it just pays the bill. And
so true.
If you've been in Miami all your life like me, you see that the prices of everything around you is raising, mm-hmm. but pay doesn't raise. Mm-hmm. The price of food, property, everything continuously going up. So if you just you taking a view of the landscape,
yeah, and
you see that everything's raising, the cost of everything. The house you used to be able to buy for $80,000 in the one of the like the most poverty-stricken neighborhoods right now is probably like close to $300,000. Yeah. So I knew I needed something else that could take me to where I wanted to go.
Okay. So with the business that you started here, it says paid. Now this is more on the real estate side of things, but I remember a few years back we was talking. You was doing real good in the stock market as well. So was there a transition? Was the stocks not coming fast enough, or is that still going? And you say I'm going to add that to the portfolio.
Well, I'll take a little brief story on that. Okay, so I get into the real estate. I jump into it.
Yeah.
I secure a loan from a bank. So I'm looking for investment properties down here in Miami.
Yeah. So
at the time, this is 2016. I remember this was 2016. So looking for the properties, I'm putting bids in on properties. Of course, I was looking for properties $100,000 and less.
Okay.
And this is 4 years later. So
yeah.
In 2016, I was actually finding them in Miami.
Yeah.
I'm talking about good rental properties who had tenants in it and stuff, and houses.
Damn.
So every time I go to a property, it's $100,000 property. If you know an investment property, you have to put down 20% or more.
Yeah.
So 20% of 100,000. So I had to put my down payment was $20,000 if I found $100,000 property. So all the properties I was going to finding, I put a bid in, and the person who kept winning was the person who had all cash. So all the properties 100,000 and under that I was looking, that was my competition.
Yeah.
All the other competition had all the cash, so they was buying them straight out cash. With other forms of loans, like you get a hard money loan, that's still considered as cash, but I didn't want to take that route.
Okay.
So that's something viewers can do a little research on. But hard money loan is basically I'm gonna give you the whole 100,000, and I'm gonna give you maybe 2 years to pay me back. But every month for the 2 years, you got to make a monthly payment.
Yeah.
And at the end of those 2 years, I want my whole $100,000 back. If you can't give me that $100,000 back, I get that property.
Oh shit.
And you've been paying me every month. So the hard money loan wasn't my route. So I kept getting, I won't call it failure, but I kept getting, not getting the property. So with that being said, I got money. I still got this down payment.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you get the money, and younger, so the money was getting hot in my pocket. What else can I go do with this money?
Yeah.
I can go put it down on my dream car. I wanted that BMW 750.
Oh yeah.
So instead of doing that, what I did was I started saying, okay, what else can I do as an investment to grow my money and make money in the meantime? I say, well, stock market, real estate. So what I did was I educated myself on the stock market. So I went from ground up. I started getting the definition. What is a stock? What is a stock market? And just started learning the definitions, checking out books, Googling. Googling was a great place. Reading up on Warren Buffett, and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So that would lead me to the stock market. My keep getting my bids keep getting turned down here in Miami.
Okay, so you got into the stocks. You had a little bit of success with the stocks, or how was that journey with that?
I love stocks.
Yeah.
So the thing about stocks is versus real estate. Okay, when I first got in, I was doing all the research. Finding out what stocks is, what dividends are. That's a big thing that I like.
Yeah, I love dividends.
So when I started comparing stocks to the real estate market, I realized in the real estate market, if I'm trying to get $100,000 property and I put down $20,000, I still have a loan over my head. I still have a mortgage. I still have a bank. So it's like I still have someone that I'm potentially kind of like a boss, because I still got to pay them every month if I don't have a tenant in there or not. I still got to pay them every month. So versus the stock market, if you take that same $20,000 or however much you got and you put it in the stock market, I don't have a tenant. I don't have to worry about a late payment. I don't have to worry about if I can get a tenant in the property. And I don't have a loan over my head every month. So that's what I shifted to, the stocks. So what I did was I used to be a sneakerhead. I retired. I retired officially back in 2010. So the first thing I did was, hey, I've spent all this money on Nike all my life. Let me go buy some Nike stock. Yeah. I bought stock in Nike. Nike pays dividends. Yeah. So if you, as a person right now, believe Nike is a little over $100, I caught it when it was around $50. Ooh. So if you just buy one stock of Nike, at this point, which is like a little over $100, which is a pair of shoes, they're gonna pay you every 3 months. You get a dividend. Yeah. So we went all our life, and Nike never paid us. We paid Nike all our life. So that was my thinking. Like, hey, I spent all this
money back.
Yeah. Because I'm sure there's people out there. I know I spent probably a good at least $10,000 on Nike at that point in my life.
That's a low number too.
Yeah, and I was before the time when shoes are now reselling for $300 and $500 and $1,000. So I'm sure it's people out there paying. I spent $30,000-$40,000 on Nike shoes. Yeah, easy. So you just buy one piece of Nike stock, and you're gonna get a check every 3 months. I mean, it may not be a lot, but it's still a check every 3 months, which is dividends. So I took that approach to buying stocks. I brought Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola is like one of the most steady dividend growing stocks of all times. It's like steady.
Yeah, it's always they're always paying out.
Yeah,
regularly.
and it's always incremental. It like never really dips that low.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was like that over the last 50 years. Hormel, these some of the stocks I started out with. So back in 2016, if you remember, marijuana was being legalized around the country.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, hey, why not buy some marijuana stocks?
Yeah.
So remember this early on. So I got to go find what companies are publicly traded on the stock market that deal with marijuana. So this was a little work, Scott, because I studied it,
research.
And a little luck, and knowing the timing of the market. So I did a little research. I got all these marijuana stocks that were publicly traded, and you just don't any, many, money, mo pick.
Okay.
So when dealing with the stock market, you can actually look up the company's history, how much money they spend, how much debt they have, how much profits, how long they've been around. So I found a company that I like because they was around since the early 90s. So I'm like, hey, they not in it for a quick buck.
Yeah.
They've been buying up land since the 90s. So I invested in that company. It was under 10 cents at the time. And I'll say in about not even a month, it went to like $5.
Ooh, that's a big jump.
Yeah, so it eventually got up to like $8, and when it started climbing back down, I cashed out. So
that's the thing right there. You got to watch those stocks. Make sure you cash out at the right time. You don't want to miss that. Hey, it's Mr. Believe, and I want to tell you about Unique African Boutique. It is a beautiful collection of authentic clothing, jewelry, accessories, and art that are made with the highest quality from artisans in Africa. What you get from Unique African Boutique, you can't get from anywhere else. Our entire collection is made up of one-of-a-kind pieces that promote the culture, music, and lifestyle of Africa, with care for the artisans and their families and their livelihood. Shop Unique African Boutique today at shopuniqueafricanboutique.com. That downturn before you cash out, get your money up out of there.
Yeah, and I tell everybody, just educate yourself in the stocks. Like I can tell you, what stock to go get or what stock not to get or what's happened for me. But if you don't know what's going on or understanding, like the big wave you just mentioned, like at the beginning of the pandemic, the stock market, all the prices went down. A lot of people,
that's the time to start buying.
Yeah, and a lot of people were selling, or the people who don't really know a lot about it, they listen to other people and they like, nah, it's not a good time to get in, but that's a great time to get in when it's low. And some of my stocks prices went down, but you got to realize you don't lose money unless you take your money out of the stock market.
Okay.
So that make a little sense. If I got $1,000 in and the stock market crashed tomorrow, well, not crash, let's just say it just drops halfway, 50%. So now I have my $1,000 is $500, but the only way it's $500 if I take it out.
Take it out.
If I keep just riding the wave,
it's going to
eventually get back up.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. Some of my stocks that went down, I doubled down on them. I caught the price low and I bought like double my amount of stocks, and now they back up.
And then you get the money back from when you bought it low.
Yeah.
So it all evens out.
And the whole time when the stock market is dipping and down and everybody's in the rut, you still getting those dividends.
Yeah.
Dividends don't stop.
Yeah, I was still getting some dividends as well. I got a couple of stocks that I had invested in. I just held on. Some of them I doubled down as well when they went down. I waited on them and got them like that. So you got into the stock market. When was it? Because you got into the stock market because the real estate wasn't really coming together the way you planned initially. But then you found some success in there. Why not just stick to the stock market and say, forget the real estate? Why come back now to real estate?
I'm still in the stock market. I come back to the real estate because it's something that's like physical, tangible, that you can see, you can touch, you feel.
Yeah.
And it's I realized that, you need more than one source of income. I have my 9 to 5. I have my stock portfolio. but I still want that real estate, because that real estate, one thing about the real estate is, you know, you make money different ways in the real estate.
Yeah.
Like the stocks, you can buy it on appreciation of the stock, make money on appreciation of the stock or your dividends.
And
Real
got
estate
options and all those other things and puts.
Yeah, but real estate, you can get it on the appreciation of the property. You can get the monthly income off, you know, charging rents, and it's also a tax write off if you know take a loss.
Yeah.
So it's a good business to be in. So that's why I still like the real estate. And one thing about the real estate, I think about my kids. So my investment properties, that's something I'm gonna give to my kids. So I have 2 kids at the moment.
Yeah.
So I need at least 2 rental properties. So when they get of age,
okay, hand it down.
That's yours. That's yours.
Get them started.
Yeah.
That's how generational wealth starts.
Daddy gave you an income. You don't have to your job if you want to go get a job, but Daddy gave you an income. So
exactly,
that's my whole thing about the real estate. I want to be able to, when I leave this place, leave my kids with some property, real estate, some income coming in. So it's not just about me when I want the real estate now. So I'm thinking about the next generation and generation after that.
Okay, that's dope, man. Definitely being able to give the property down to the kids. I think I seen something like that on either Instagram or Facebook. It was a dude that gave his daughter for her 16th or 18th birthday a rental property. I said, that's exactly what I'm going to do for my son.
That's big. That's big.
Rather than a car, get him a rental property, and then from there he can buy whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah.
Get out my pockets, nigga.
Exactly.
So, but the paid, did you start doing real estate back down here in Miami? Even though you started the price, you said the prices when you were starting 4 years ago was at 100,000. You were able to find them now, but obviously 4 years from later, things have changed.
Now you can't get a lot of land in the most poverty-stricken area for $100,000.
So where are you investing at?
So what I did was I still kept my ear to the street in the real estate in Miami. Just reaching out to realtors, telling them if you see something, send it to me. Or if I see something, I'll get in contact with them. So what I did was I started looking around the country where else I can find real estate for cheap.
Okay.
That led me to Georgia. So I really can't tell you exactly how I came up with the city in Georgia that I like, but one night I was just looking at different cities in Georgia, looking at the price, and I just fell upon Macon, Georgia.
Yeah,
it's
not
like
too far out of Atlanta.
Yeah, it's like 45 or hour from Atlanta, south of Atlanta. So I just found Macon one night, was looking at the price. I'm like, man, wow, the prices that I'm using as a down payment here in Miami, I can buy a house cash in Macon and other cities in Georgia. So what I did was that next day, because I'm a night owl, so that next day I got up, found the biggest real estate company in Macon, contacted them. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I contacted them, got in contact with a realtor, told her, hey, I'm looking for some property in Macon. Can you send me some emails of properties? She did that, and I told her I'll be there the next week.
Okay.
So the next week, and I never took a road trip driving by myself. So I went and reserved me a rental car and say I'm going to Georgia. Told a couple friends, and one of my buddies say, "Oh, I'll ride with you," and I just went to Macon.
So how was that? Was that an eye-opening trip when you went up there? Was it like wow?
It was a big eye-opening trip. It's just when you educate yourself, or you see more, you make more contacts, or you network more, it opens you up to possibilities that you never knew.
Okay.
So it was a big eye opener. Property was cheap, but still at that time, and this is back in 2016. So back at that time, I'm new to the real estate market as an investor. I purchased my first home in 2011. Yeah. But at this time, I'm new to the investment part of real estate. So I still learned, because you have to, get contractors. Mm-hmm. You have to property managers if you're going to be out of town like I was. Home inspections. Yeah. So, and if you're not going to be in that state or wherever, you got to make these connections and network with people, because you're going to be wiring them money or sending them money, hoping that the job gets done. So you need reputable people, and you got to make them, contacts and network.
Yeah. So when you was looking at different avenues or different places in real estate, you said you came across Georgia. Were there any other places outside of Georgia that you were looking into? And why did you stick to Georgia if there was other places? Was it because of proximity?
The reason I stuck to Georgia was the proximity. I have friends in Georgia. I have family that I really don't know, but I know I have family in Georgia. I know Georgia's a closer place that I can call people and be like, hey, how is this area? How is that area?
Okay.
It's something, familiar, because when you're buying real estate, and especially if you're doing it out of town or somewhere that's not that you're not familiar with, you're going to need those type of contacts.
Yeah.
So
Boots
just
on the ground.
you're familiar with the area, the landscape. Maybe you got a connection. Somebody who work on houses, build houses, cut grass. So that's why I chose Georgia. It was closer. The prices were great, and I could reach out to a couple people and make some contacts.
Okay. So were you able to land any deals up there while you went?
Yes.
That was a quick answer. You don't got to tell us how many.
Well, we've known each other a long time, so I'm kind of private with that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of.
I ain't gonna ask how many, but you landed some deals. So, was there a learning curve as far as when you were landing these deals? Are there people that you started with in the crew that you kind of realized that they weren't as reliable throughout your processes of landing these?
It's a learning curve. I would say it's a big learning curve when you get into real estate. But I'll back up just a little bit. When I did buy my first home, not as investment, but my personal home, in 2011, I took the first-time homeowners course, which was valuable to me just for the education I got from it. If you make a certain amount, you're not qualified.
Yeah.
But I tell you, that was the most valuable thing I got. On top of any money they could have gave me or any grant or anything like that. Yeah. So the information I learned in there, it was real valuable. And I actually went to that first time home buyers course down here in Miami Gardens, at Antioch Mission Church. It was like a free little 8-hour seminar, and it was very useful, very informative. So to fast forward to the Georgia experience, the learning curve, it's a little different in investments as dealing with contractors, home inspectors, title companies, escrow companies. So it's a little learning curve, and the only way you're gonna learn if you do it. Yeah. If you don't do it, talking to other people, taking advice, other things that work for people, you got to actually do it. You got to actually try it. So yeah, it's a learning curve, but. You find people that you can depend on, because I got the guy who does my home inspections. He doesn't stay in Macon. He's like an hour away from Macon. Okay. So, but he I'm good business. I know he good business. So that's who I still stick with to do my home inspections. He send me a full report, color report, and he tells me the little things that another home inspector might not tell me.
That's good to find somebody that you can trust.
Yeah.
So you had to build a team of people out of town. So if anybody's listening, you're thinking about that, Miami's a very expensive place to stay. You can think about who you have in your circle, who's in your family, like what areas you can possibly venture to, because you're going to need people with boots on the ground. So outside of the real estate and the stock investing, were there any other things that you were doing on the side to make extra income?
No, those two were it. Other than that, the biggest investment you can make is educating yourself. That's huge, because you can avoid a lot of those pitfalls. Yeah. So educating yourself, that's a big investment. Definitely. By itself. So I started doing something like, if you're on social media, if I'm on social media 15 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, wasting time just looking at people's pictures, videos, I got to match that with reading something that's going to inform myself or learn about something or digging deeper into the stock market, because the stock market is complicated. It can be, like you say, you got the day traders, penny stocks. There's a lot of ways to make money in the stock market.
So many different ways. So when somebody says and they get this education, a lot of times people feel like they don't know where to go, or they might feel like they got to go to a guru and cough up a couple of grand to get the information. How were you able to come across the information that you were studying?
The first information I came across, I simply went to Google, doing definitions. Not no, Google with a source. Remember back in our day, you had the source had to be real. You just don't Google. Like my kids may come to me now. Look, Dad, that. How you know that's the truth? So
Exactly.
just Google in a dictionary, because most of us, if you ask us what a stock is, do you really know the definition? Or people be like, oh, the stock market. Like,
Yeah.
no, what is a stock? What is, it's a piece of a company that you purchase, so I just get in the definition. So with Google, then I went to the local library.
Library, take that note right there. The libraries are still open, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, went to the local library, got a book about stock market. I got a book on Warren Buffett. I watched a couple YouTube videos, and I just went to the big players when it did the real estate. So I did real estate the same as I did stock market, just Googling definitions, go and get a book from the library, and looking at the big players in there, because the big players, they actually share their strategies.
Yeah.
Like you can see, if we're talking stock market, you can see what stocks that Warren Buffett buys. And he actually tell you, I got 10 million stocks in Apple, I got 1 million stocks in Microsoft, so you can see what the big dogs are buying.
Yeah. So a lot of times people feel like they gotta search everywhere else, man. It just takes you making a decision to do something. He made a decision 4 years ago to say, I know what, I'm gonna get this going. He could have stayed on his cushy job, worked, got his little retirement early, maybe did another retirement, but he decided to go and research. Like he said, now just don't go read anybody's stuff on Google. Go to some formidable or whatever reputable sources. Go to the library. Those things that still exist. The library, get you some books, read some books. So now on your entrepreneurial journey, everybody thinks when you're an entrepreneur, it's all peaches and cream. The minute you say you got a business, everybody got a handout. They think you got all the dollars. Has it been all peaches and cream for you on this journey?
Not at all. Starting a business is it can be a struggle at first, because it's like anything. You got to grind. It's like just like a job. You get on the job the first day, this is something you're not.
Hey, it's Mr. Believe, and I'm here to tell you about Titan Protective Services, where they protect what matters most to you. Titan Protective Services provides innovative security solutions for apartment complexes, rental properties, and condominiums. We believe that as a family-run company, we are here to make sure your property is taken care of and protected from vandalism, theft, and destruction. Contact us today for your security needs. Visit www.titanproserv.com today, or call us at 844-39-TITAN. That's 844-39-TITAN.
Familiar with, it's hard. But then after, 2 years of being at that job, you're doing everything with your hands tied behind your back. So same thing as a business. It's trial and error, living and learning. Because if you, I think it's a statistic, the majority of businesses fail. I know the restaurant business is like a high percentage.
Yeah, like 90%
in the first year.
Yeah.
But if you look at everybody who's the most successful people that we know, let's say some famous people, all of them had a business who failed.
Yep. At some point, their business failed. Even I don't even consider myself successful, but I've had tons of businesses that failed before I even got to one that's actually making me some money right now. Mm-hmm. So it takes perseverance to get through that.
I was just about to say, you got to stick with it.
Yeah. Did you ever feel like you wanted to turn back and say, stock market ain't too good? Did you ever take a loss and was like, I don't know if I could take that no more?
With the stock market, no. With remember when the real estate, I started the real estate, and then I shift to the stock market. So then, at that point I started learning, the only way you be successful, you stick with something.
Yep.
Once you quit, you failed at it.
Mm-hmm.
So just because that doesn't work, you can keep with it and keep pushing, and try another avenue, because it's not just one way to a successful business,
Yeah.
So you stick with it.
Yeah, that's one of those things that people feel like it's going to be roses or you're not going to have little things jumping your way. But when something happens and you might stumble, take a loss or whatever, that's for you to learn. That's the universe telling you, okay, it's not that way. Try it another way, but stick to it. Keep on going and jump this hurdle again. You got another thing. So what would you say has been some of your biggest accomplishments that you've had since you started on your entrepreneurial journey?
As an entrepreneur, my biggest accomplishment is, other than what you learn and what you know, just learning, and understanding how money works. So one of my biggest accomplishments was the marijuana stock I purchased early on when I first started. It was like when I first put money in the stock market, and that was like one of my biggest financial accomplishments at that time. But in business is really understanding how money works, because if you have $1,000 that you just sitting in the bank,
it's not $1,000.
Yeah, and it's not really getting that much interest. But if you put $1,000 in the stock market, I'm not saying that it's going to make you another $1,000, but you can put $1,000 in the stock market and buy the right stocks, and you can get dividends every 3 months off that.
Yeah. So just understanding how money works.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not making money, to me, if I'm not making money, I'm losing money. So I try to make money every day. Every day I try to bring some type of income into the household. So what are some of the biggest lessons that you've learned?
The biggest lessons I learned is can't always just keep talking about it.
Oh, that's a big one.
Just talking and not doing.
Mm-hmm.
Another big lesson I learned is you can't let another person talk you out of it. Remember, everybody has their own experiences. Just because it didn't work for them, that doesn't mean it's not going to work for you. Like, quick example. At one point, I wanted to invest in a barbershop at a flea market. We got big for the flea market down here, but the big one closed down in Miami, USA flea market.
Yeah,
so I wanted a barbershop. So you have the people who they don't know they're talking you out of it or talking down on it, but they like, man, it's a million barbershops in the flea market.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, why can't the 1,000,001 barbershop make money just like the other million?
Exactly.
And the example I use to people like that is, if you go to any corner in Miami, on a 4-way corner, you're going to have 4 gas stations.
Yep.
All of them making money. All of them profitable. All of them open.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another lesson I learned. Don't just because everybody, quote unquote, doing it, that don't mean you can't do it either.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's saturated, there's always an avenue or a niche that you can exploit to now get yourself in there. Now, first lesson that you said you learned was not to just keep talking about it. Is there a reason why you learned that lesson? Was you procrastinating in the beginning?
Yeah, I procrastinated. A lot of times I procrastinated because before the real estate and the stock market, I tried the I don't know if you remember the travel, like the travel business.
YBN or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had my own little website, travel website, like you book, just like
I think my wife did that too.
Expedia and all those. Like I had my own.
Yeah.
So, but you keep just talking about it, not doing it. Really, nothing comes from just talking.
Yeah.
Have to work. Got to put some labor behind it.
Yeah, definitely. I had some ideas like that I did, and finally put some fuel to the fire, and they started producing some results. So when you got all this stuff going on, you still got your job. You got to keep up with the stock market. Now you got your business going, and you still have 2 kids at home in the household that you got to take care of. Does it ever get stressful for you? And if it does, how do you cope with the stress, or what do you do to mitigate the stress so it doesn't get that way?
Stressful. I don't know about stressful. I say sometimes it gets a lot. I've been too much in life to let kind of trivial things stress me out.
Yeah.
So but I say it gets a lot. But if I need to de-stress, or I just my kids help me de-stress.
That's a help.
Just to remember the kids. Remember they don't have bills.
Yeah.
They just enjoying life. They love laughing, love playing. So I de-stress with with my kids. Just having fun with them. Or going out hanging with the fellas, because most of my friends, we've been lifelong friends.
Yeah.
Most of my friends, we probably been friends for like 25 years, probably a little longer. Like me and you, we in 2001.
Yeah.
And we in 2020, so that's 19 years. And like you
20.
say, like from St. Peter's in Jersey City, we met some lifelong friends.
Yeah.
Still got a few other people from there that I'm still friends with. We close, but I just scratch around my friends, telling jokes, hanging out, laughing, having a good drink, good cigar, things like that nature.
Okay. It's good to have a good work-life balance, because sometimes you can get caught up in work.
Oh, one other thing. I love to cook.
Oh.
I love to cook. So I love looking up new recipes, trying things. Because before I got married.
Chef Boyardee?
Yeah, before I got married, I was a bachelor who didn't know how to cook. So I started learning how to cook like about 10 years ago. So
what did you start learning how to cook? Is it because of the wife or because of the kids?
No, I started learning how to cook just because I wanted to know how to cook. I didn't know how to cook anything. Like,
so
I
you
didn't
just
boil sausages and hot dogs or frozen pieces, but I didn't know how to cook.
That's that college cooking right there.
Yeah, so I love cooking, so that's a de-stressor too.
Definitely, man. So you got to be careful with all that cooking, though, man. It could get you fat, though.
Yeah, most def. So I just started back working out this week. I came from a run, a walk before I came here.
Okay. That's what's up. We got to stay healthy. So over the next 5 years, I asked a lot of people these questions, but I had a guest that debunked it. A lot of people was like, man, they don't know what they're going to do because of the pandemic. But it's 5 years from now. So there has to be some type of vision or plan that you see yourself with your businesses or your business. You're probably going to have multiple. Where do you see Dave or Paid in 5 years from now?
In the next 5 years, I would love to acquire more properties. I would love to educate myself more. Definitely buy more stocks. And start another business or 2 or 3, because it's 5 years.
Yeah.
And definitely in this pandemic time, we saw that it's not hard to start a business. And it's definitely ways out here and educating yourself. So in the next 5 years, definitely acquire more properties and at least another 2-3 businesses.
What
successful.
What kind of businesses are you thinking about getting into?
I want to get into the women's fashion world.
Yeah, that's a good one.
As you see, it's a lot of online stores.
Yeah.
And women can never have too many clothes.
They never.
So that's one of them. Something else I want to look into is gas stations or a convenience store.
That's definitely one of my bucket list items right there. Got one off of my bucket list right there. So what mistakes, if any, because for me, mistakes usually come with a lesson. But sometimes there's those mistakes that happen, and it could be like, I could have avoided that one had I listened to my intuition, or it was just a waste of time. Do you have any mistakes like that were kind of like something you could have avoided, or were all of them really lessons?
Some mistakes, well, in the end, they turn out to be lessons, but some mistakes you can avoid, I would say the procrastination.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's a mistake. And some other thing, like just to piggyback off what I said a little bit, listening to other people. Sometimes you listen to other people and you don't even get out of go. You don't even start the race because someone told you, oh, no, you can't do that because of this. I already tried that.
Yeah.
You got to try for yourself sometimes. So that's a mistake, listening to other people. But some mistakes is and taking too long on the deal, because sometimes in the real estate market, things move fast. When things hit the market, sometimes you try to see if you got all your ducks in a row, and you trying to dot all your I's and cross all your T's, and the deal, somebody else is ready for the deal. So preparation, if you prepare yourself beforehand, so that's definitely wasting that time.
Yeah, definitely. Preparation is the key to success, I feel like, in my key. Just being prepared makes you a lot more able to handle whatever comes your way.
And also in investing period, sometimes like that old saying from the hood, where I'm from, scared money don't make no money.
Yeah.
And that's true too with investing.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing is you more educated behind it.
Exactly.
But scared money don't make no money.
Exactly. That kind of piggybacks off what you were saying, like not procrastinating and scared money don't make no money, because you could study all day, but if you never make that move or you never take that step, all your studying is in vain. Like it doesn't
that's
mean
why a lot
nothing.
of those sayings from the hood or what you gonna do? You gonna
snooze,
barbecue?
you lose,
Or you gonna barbecue a meal? Do
Yeah.
like some of them things? It's lessons in them.
Yeah, you just gotta listen to it. As you get older, you start to realize all those sayings have a deeper meaning to it.
Exactly.
So, do you have any tips for any aspiring entrepreneurs out there, people trying to get into real estate or the stock market?
Some of the tips I would say, like we said before, educate yourself, work on your credit, but don't get too obsessed with credit.
Okay.
Because a lot of people think you can do so much with credit, but it's really how you apply the credit. Just because you have credit, that doesn't necessarily mean anything, because I can come with a perfect credit score, and Kev can come with the $300,000 for this property. Just because I got a perfect credit score, that don't mean nothing. They running with the money.
Yeah.
So don't get obsessed with it, but do work on your credit. And you can educate yourself how to improve your credit. You ain't always got to run to the credit fixing services.
Yeah, I learned that. I learned that the hard way.
Yeah, it's a little simpler than you may. Basically, you just paying a person to do the little work for you, the leg work for you. It ain't like you got to be certified or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So, definitely.
It's your credit score at the end of the day. It's yours. So, a lot of times people feel like it's some entity out there that's monitoring you, or some person out there, and there's so far you can't get to them or fix it. You got to hire somebody who got some Jedi Knight trick that got some legal way to get. Nah, man, you can fix your credit score yourself. There's just steps you got to take. You can research it. I'm not going to go over that tonight, but you can research it. You can contact these people and get everything taken care of all on your own. Yeah. Rather than paying those hundreds and thousands of dollars to have somebody do the same exact thing you could do for yourself. It's going to take some time, though. Yeah. But you can do the work yourself.
And networking. Yes. That's the thing. They call it networking, but just basically you might have friends in the business, a family member, a family of a friend. Like it's sometimes just a conversation, and you can pull the wisdom or the expertise somebody has. So, definitely look around the people you already know, coworkers, family, friends. If you're in your church, because there's some people you may not know.
Thank you for tuning in to the Believe in Yourself podcast. Now I'm your host, KevBiyi, and I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been tuning into these episodes. And I pray, and my prayer is that everyone has been getting some type of inspiration, motivation, or even some tips and tricks of the trade that they can use in their everyday journey or lives into entrepreneurship, professionalism, or just downright living. Now, if you want some more from our guests on the show, we're eventually going to be partnering with them and bringing you some special discounted items later on. So if you love these guests and love the things that they have to offer, and you would love to support and build the community, all you need to do is text BIY to 31996. That's BIY to 31996, and let's grow this community together. Peace.
Everybody's not flashy. Everybody doesn't talk what they do, but there's people definitely around you that may be in that field you want to get into, real estate or stock, whatever it may be.
Yeah, networking is definitely crucial and key. I had to learn early on. There's a certain way to network. I used to go into networking thinking I'm going to get everybody just to sign up for my business, but that's not what networking is per se. Networking is you exchanging information, you building relationships, you getting information for people that's helping you skip steps that you otherwise would have had to take on your own. So just understanding, going out there and meeting new people, talking to people, having conversations, building relationships, and you don't have to always get something in return. Just going out there and putting yourself out, being vulnerable is a good thing to do.
Exactly.
So now we're about to go into this or that segment, man. Figure out a little bit what's going on up under the hood. Mr. Dave Palmer, man. How does he think? How does he get to this point of being such a savvy investor? What does he do? So, audiobooks or podcasts, which one would you prefer?
I would prefer audiobooks.
Are there any particular audiobooks that you've listened to or that you could refer our listeners to?
Nothing new, but I did do I like the Rich Dad Poor Dad, but I also read it. But I like that as a audiobook. And some podcasts. The one I'm on now. I just look for people talking, if they educate, but also giving a little life experience.
Yeah,
like a mix, but definitely audiobooks. I like Rich Dad Poor Dad. But basically, it's just old books I read. I see if they switch them over to audiobooks.
Yeah, I like doing that. And Rich Dad Poor Dad is a book I've read probably 3 times. I've read it on the hard copy and listened to it at the audiobook at the same time, man. I love that book. Every time I read it, it gives me something, gets me going. Yeah. Which app would you prefer, Facebook or Instagram?
I prefer Facebook.
Why would you prefer Facebook? You like the first person in a month that said Facebook.
Because Facebook is like the original.
Yeah.
I go back on Facebook when I believe you had to be enrolled in college. You had to show your college courses to get on there. So it wasn't just saturated with everybody.
Yeah.
So and it really was a way you can, because that's when we all was leaving high school, going different parts of the country, being in college. So I prefer Facebook because like all my accounts are private anyway, so I only accept people that I know. But Facebook, I guess, just for me being, I'm not as savvy or caught up to speed with the ever changing technology. Mm-hmm. So, but I'm like I grew up on Facebook, so Facebook, I definitely know how to maneuver it, work it, everything.
Oh, I'm kind of on a new school wave with the Instagram. Facebook,
Instagram.
Yeah, I left Facebook for like 2 years, and I came back this year. And it's just like everything changed on there. They got everything from Instagram. They got the videos. It's just too much going on.
If I follow more people on Instagram.
On Instagram? Yeah,
because I don't follow. I only follow people I know.
Yeah.
Personally know, and I maybe follow maybe 3 celebrities, maybe.
Yeah.
So that's probably why Instagram isn't.
Yeah, you got to get a little bit more broader with that. But, I mean, it could be stories. You go on the Explore page, too. I mean, it's each his own. It's all his own. So we got the music comparison. This up-and-coming battle that everybody's talking about right now, they got Jeezy and T.I. coming up. Who would you prefer? Who do you pick out of those two artists, Jeezy or T.I.?
To win that competition, that versus?
No. Yeah. Who would you pick to win?
T.I. Definitely T.I.
Yeah, I like T.I. T.I. take me back to my college day. I think the first time I heard T.I. was at St. Peter's, and it was them Duval, Terry, and Rory had put me on to them, and it was listening to. It was before his 24. Was it the same one? It was I'm Serious, I think. One of them first T.I. albums, man. That is a classic. And ever since then, I've been a T.I. fan.
But I think it's going to be. Because you got to remember, Jeezy got those hard club anthems, like heavy bass, heavy knock.
Yeah, he do. He do got those with the 808s.
Mm-hmm. But T.I., I think he got the more diversified catalog.
Definitely a lot more diversified. And I would pick T.I. just lyrically. I just like him lyrically better than Jeezy. Jeezy's good, too, but lyrically, T.I. could get into it, man. He could really split. We'll see. It's gonna be a good one though.
But remember that verse is just 20, your 20 versus my 20. So
that's true. That's true.
The lyrics and
Jeezy got some bangers going back to 101.
Yeah, but T.I. definitely. I like him as an artist. He like up there as one of my top. Like he probably my top 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So sports comparison. I would talk about some football since we're football players, but I'm not too interested in what's going on in NFL right now because my team ain't balling like they're supposed to. So I'm gonna take it back a little bit. Who would be your favorite Cowboy of all time? Since this is a fellow Cowboy fan right here, who is your favorite Cowboy of all time?
My favorite Cowboy of all time has to be. I'm gonna say Emmitt Smith by a hair.
By a hair?
Yeah, by a hair. He's got by a hair.
I was picking between Emmett and Dion for my favorite.
Dion was only a year, 2 years.
Man, Dion, I don't care, man. Dion.
He did keep it live when he was there. But
yeah,
I say Emmett because I grew up. That's my childhood when I saw those Super Bowls being winning.
Yeah.
But I think Dez Bryant, he's like my number 2.
Dez,
because remember his career with us, what he was like a good 7, 8 years maybe.
Yeah, he had a good career with the Cowboys.
He used to be hyped throwing up that X, so I think it was a longer experience I had with Dez.
Can't forget about T.O. either.
Yeah, T.O. definitely. But T.O. was only like 4 years.
Yeah.
3 or 4 years.
But those 4 years, I think he led the league in yards and touchdowns for them 4 years.
I definitely know those touchdowns. But I like Emmett has to be my all-time. And maybe Dez. Yeah.
I just put Dion up there because of his impact. I just feel like he was just like, he made the star. That them 2, I think it was 3 years he was with the Cowboys. I felt like they was unbeatable as long as he was on the team.
Yeah.
This last question I got that I ask everybody, man, it's a fat boy question for me. I used to always have the stash in my room of the goodies, the chocolates. Which one would you prefer, the chocolate chip cookies or the Oreos?
Oreos.
Hands down?
Yeah, hands down, Oreos.
So I like either one on either day. It all depends. But the chocolate chips definitely got to be baked. But I like my Oreos frozen in the freezer. How you like yours?
Oh, nah, they got to be, as long as I got some milk with them. And I don't know what they did, that magic they put in them golden Oreos, but definitely.
Oh, yeah. The golden Oreos.
I just like mine dunked in a little milk.
Yeah, I get mine with the almond milk, put them in the freezer for about a couple of hours. They come out nice and crunchy. Nice and crunchy. So now we're coming up to the end of the podcast, man. I got another question for you, though.
Okay.
So my question for you is, now that you've expanded into the Georgia area with your real estate, are you going to come back down to Miami? Is that a plan, or do you plan to keep your real estate in Georgia, keep it separate, or do you want to go to other states outside of Georgia? Or what's the plan with that?
My plan is definitely to come back down to Miami. I want to build my, however you want to say it, real estate portfolio or properties. I want to just build them up enough that coming back to Miami is the ultimate goal.
Okay.
But I also want to venture out into other states. It's like, it's like no limit. Like, once you learn things, it's like no limit. Why stop in Florida? Exactly. Or just, I want to eventually get to the point where I have property wherever I'm vacationing at. So I also want to go to other countries.
Okay, definitely other countries. That's definitely a bucket list for me too. What countries are you thinking about? 'Cause I got some in my own head.
What is this country? I want property in Belize.
Definitely, I like that. Okay.
I'm thinking
I see that.
Bahamas.
Okay, I see that.
And I love Mexico too.
Yeah, I like Mexico.
But I don't know how they laws and things set up.
I don't know how that's
what areas are no-fly zones or what areas you can't, actually.
Yeah.
Buy in. So
I'm actually looking into Jamaica. Okay. I love me some Jamaica. Of course, my hometown, Nigeria. Going back there.
Oh, I've been doing some research on.
Hey, Nigeria is booming. For those people that's not scared to go to Africa.
That's been my. That's what's been on my YouTube search lately. people who make the trip back to Africa.
Yeah.
Nigeria.
Ghana, they was doing I think Ghana was
the
doing
return,
before.
like it was 2018 or 2019, something recently. But I've been looking at people's stories about, people say, I left America, went to Africa, I'm never coming back. Yeah. The differences. So that's been my my recent research.
Yeah, man, definitely. I ain't gonna I'm kind of like Dave. I ain't gonna say too much. Just say, hey, look into it. Africa is up and coming. For anybody looking to do anything, I'm definitely doing that myself. So now we got the Paid, PAID LLC. What exactly does Paid do? What avenue?
Paid, Palmer and Associate Investment Dealings. What we do is in the real estate market, I acquire properties, I fix them up if need be, and I rent them out or sell.
Okay, so is this something that you do under, like just for yourself, like under your umbrella to help, protect your money, or is it something a service that you're offering out to other people?
Both. I offer it out to other people. Like if you need a contractor or need somebody to manage your property, locate a property. So it's like a one-stop umbrella. Everything under one umbrella. But for me now, it's just basically finding properties, fixing them up, renting them out, getting them ready. And in the future, I may, sell them. But right now, I'm in it for the monthly income. I'm in it for the
residual.
The long term.
Like that residual stuff, man. So we're coming up to the end of the podcast, man. And before we go, man, I just want to say thank you, Dave, for coming on the show, man. I really appreciate it, my brother. You know what I'm saying? And I thank you for being an example and a pillar in the community. You may not feel that way. I like to let everyone know that if you're doing something positive, because, of course, when you look in the media and everything else out there, people of our color are never displayed in the good things that we're doing and what we're doing. So this show definitely wants to spotlight everybody out there that's doing positive things in the community and be examples for people out there. So I thank you for being an example, and you're definitely a father, so you're also a role model for other black people out there that's looking into doing stocks, real estate. These are things that we all can get ourselves into. And like Dave alluded to earlier, man, stop procrastinating. Let's just go out there and do it. So before you go, brother, I want you to let everybody know how they could get in contact with you, how they could get in contact with Paid, if anybody's looking to get into real estate, and if you want them to contact you personally. I'm not sure about that. But as far as at least get in contact for Paid, definitely let everybody know how they could get in contact with you there.
Well, I'm most definitely I'm always open to share my experience, or I try not to give advice. I try to point you in the right direction. But I'm always open for that. Anything dealing with real estate, you can reach me at the email, which is paidllc, the number 1 at gmail.com. And that is PAIDLLC, the number 1 at gmail.com. And if with my, I don't even know what's my Instagram name. Nah, my Instagram name. Let me see. Look it up real quick. You can DM me on Instagram. Like I say, I really don't. It's my personal page on Instagram. I don't have any business social media pages as of yet. So.
Oh, you don't have the business on the social media yet?
No, I don't. I just.
Okay.
I'm really just about the business. So I don't have no. But if anything, you can DM me. Let me see my page name on Instagram. Does it show my name? Oh, there it is. On Instagram, I'm Dave, which is D_AVE.63.
All right. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to get in contact with Dave, you can shoot him a Instagram. Hit him on Instagram and Paid. Definitely look out for them coming in the future. And next week, we're going to be listening back right here. You're going to have Unsubscribe. That's what I bring my wife on the show, so everybody wants to know a little bit about relationship stuff. We're going to be doing that next week. And outside of that, everybody, thank you guys for tuning in. You're listening to
YourVibeRadio.com.
And you guys have a good one. Peace. This show is brought to you by Believe in Yourself. Don't forget to visit IBelieveInMeInc.com. That's IBelieveInMeInc.com for all your BIY swag. That's I Believe in Me Inc. for all your BIY swag. And we'll see you on the next episode.